WJBW is made possible by sausage. Stick one in your mouth.
I hear a little bit of feedback in the mic.
These charges are not mine.
Hey, welcome to the JBW Web DBWDD.com or Rev Show.com. Oh, yes. Fucking asinine.
Can you give me a massage? I love you.
Holla at you. Ow! Ooh, girl.
Seriously.
Hello, Papa.
Some shit like that. You gotta do the Rocky Mountain Ride.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck with. Boy. And everybody get the Rocky Mountain Ride.
WJBW.
You don't want this.
Welcome.
So sad.
WJBW Networks proudly
We're here.
presents
2017.
What is it?
It's here.
What is this show called again?
It's
The
called-
JB Rev Show.
I know where you were going with that.
Yeah, and welcome back to it. It is another fine edition. We interview talented people every week all across the country and the globe.
The globe.
We're
That's right.
putting
We
the,
are expanding our boundaries.
putting the call out for global interview sessions, and we're going to be lining those things up.
We sure are,
At-
JB.
Well,
I've got some
Yeah,
stuff
and
for
we
real.
can get to that. We can get to that right after that.
Yeah.
To lay the bed properly, we have a great show set up. We have one and only Will Castro
The
right in studio
Will Castro.
over there. There he is. Over there. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man.
How you doing? Welcome. It's awesome.
Guys,
And
here.
about 8 o'clock hour, we're going to get a call from Mark Hunt about Ear Theater. And they have an event going on the 20th out at a Sandwich Bar. So a bunch of friends that
Nice.
we support. We're going to talk a little bit about that and get into the show. We're going to light up the phone lines early.
Light 'em up.
We're going to let you call in at any point. It's 407-379-9529.
Line them up.
407
Line them up.
No, not you light that
Come
up.
on.
Oh, come on. Stop
All right.
that. Oh, my God.
Hey, JB.
Yeah, so...
I'm good. It's good to be here. You like that?
Now, that made me nervous.
Well, you know, it's a new year. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. And I tell you what, there's a certain publication that failed to mention. I mean, you've been doing this
you're
now.
going to go right there, right out of
you
the
know,
gate.
I am.
You're
I
going to
am.
go there right out of the gate.
It's fresh in my mind. I want to just clarify something. And I'm not going to mention any names, and I'm glad everyone's, But, I mean, JB, you're going to be doing your 200th episode next Tuesday.
With me.
Yeah, I'm going to be here, too. I'll be
and
here.
me.
Yeah. And that, I think I'm almost close to 100 now with you, right?
You are real close, buddy.
Yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
get the final count on that.
I know. So
got to get Ernst and Young.
And hey, but this being said, JB, I'm very proud to be here with you. And I mean, this is definitely a passion for you. God's sake, I mean, you really have an intense passion for this, and that's really what I picked up on. And it motivates me to be here. It motivates me to really shine
Fantastic.
light on
I'm
our
inspiring
community.
you. I'm
Yes,
inspiring
you are.
That's wonderful. Thank you, sir.
And it's good to be here, JB.
Well, thanks for mentioning that. And I
Yeah.
think in the blog article, kind of what you're referring to is not being recognized for doing stuff. And again, that's not what we're after. And I'm glad you brought that up
Right.
because I want to make a point.
All right.
Every single person in that article that we're discussing
Have been a guest on
referred
the show.
to in the thing, most of them, but they're trying to make money doing what they're doing.
Oh.
That's the key
Wow.
differentiating
Will,
factor.
we have not made
So-
a red cent.
So
doing
yeah,
this.
we
Not one red
we
penny.
spend money to promote
Yeah, we
people
do.
in this room.
We
it's
do.
ridiculous. We're
It's true.
idiots. Most people think we're idiots.
Well,
I think.
it's not.
Anyway, it
it's
doesn't
not
matter.
about that though.
I'm spending money to promote you. That's basic. So there you
Well,
go.
Roger that.
All right, and to promote you.
So
All right. Every day.
now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Every day. I'm spending it. Oh, the
man, you gotta-
Alzheimer's
you gotta
kicking.
Turn those down, man.
What?
Oh
What?
my God.
Oh, is that too loud for you,
It was a
little?
little too loud. A little too loud in
baby?
my ear.
All right, well. That's the speaker. Well, we're going to get into a session with Will Castro here in a little bit, but I kind of want to welcome you into the general banter that we're having. You probably don't even know what the hell we're talking about.
No, I have no clue.
Well, we're going to let it be. Let it be a little.
This is what I was going to say.
I guess we're not.
That certain publication, obviously, doesn't do much research when they do their stories. You know, I mean, for you not to be like a mention, that's just
so there was a write-up on Orlando podcasts that promote Orlando, and we were not included in that.
Yeah,
and
so he's been doing it longer than anybody will.
But
anybody in town.
No, I'm right up there with the main longest guys. But still, needless to say, when we come together again, that's not what we're here about. We're here to promote people. And I'll tell you something else, Rev. Look at me, man. When you think about it, if they would have promoted us and we put out an interview with Scott Joseph, that takes away from their business. They're promoting food. They're like, you be the critic. Go to the. They're doing all this stuff. So it's a conflict of interest because they are in it for the money. And we're not, and they can't control our voice. That's why we're not in the. We're not in the piece. So there you go.
I can say whatever.
We said our piece.
Fuck, I want. Okay. You know.
So how the hell you doing, man? We'll get into your interview in a little bit, but great to meet you. I've known you for years on Facebook, and this, again, is kind of the impetus of what we do here is really getting to know people, because there's a lot of talented people everywhere, and even though we focus on Orlando, I like to get into your origins a little bit, but how long have you been in Orlando?
Last 6 years, yeah.
6 years.
Early 2010 is when I moved here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you come from?
Southern California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was going to guess Puerto Rico.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. What kind of,
come on.
What is that?
Come on, man.
What the
Let's have a
hell?
little fun.
Okay.
So it's Southern California, so Mexico.
Well, my parents came from Mexico, but I was born and raised in
Latino.
L.A. and all that. Yeah.
Did you have a good Three Kings Day?
Was it crazy over there?
Yes, it was actually.
It was crazy to live, like you were scared for your life and junk.
At first I was scared. Then you kind of get used to it over time, and then you just get tired of it, and that's why I ended up here.
And you're like, screw it.
It's a little more chill.
Get the hell out of there.
Was there any certain reason why you came here to beautiful Orlando?
I wanted to go to Full Sail and learn recording arts.
There you go.
Okay, that
there
makes
you go.
sense.
There's the connection. Circle takes the square.
Plus, I needed a change,
Yeah. Okay, mine's way better. Listen, man. Okay. All right. Well,
anyway,
let's bust away.
As
as usual, give people a little bit of time to get acclimated. We're going to put all the links out there. Since we do everything live, and it distributes to 8 sites, potentially 9 here in a little bit.
Yep. Let's hope for that
we do everything live. We promote talented people. We listen to original music. So I got a little bit of sounds queued up here from
nice. What do you got?
Across the way.
Yeah.
And this is a group called Portrayal, and they're from the UK, and they're a duo, and they're pretty. They harken back to kind of the Smith's Depeche Mode type of sound. Yeah, so we'll dive into that. We'll come back. Man. We'll chat with Will Castro. Thanks for joining us. WJBWnetworks.com for all your questions. The JB Rev Show is all up in your browser.
That's
baby.
JB. I'm the Rev.
WJBW.
You don't want this.
The electronics are so predominant that people would really prefer that.
Yeah, they prefer it, I guess. Anyway,
they do.
WJBWnetworks.com. Welcome back. It's JB Webb in the room, at Radio JB Webb on your Twitter, and the Reverend across the way at REVJERR on the box of Twit, and our very special guest. I'm very excited, and so still. I'm very excited. Everybody's ready. It's Mr. Will Castro. Welcome, buddy. Welcome into the room. Thank you so much for, again, being able to do this. Coming in studio is much better, as you know.
Yeah.
And you're a radio aficionado. So what I want to do is kind of, you've got Mars Radio out there. Now, I think it's Saturday night. You got the 3 to 5.
It's technically Saturday mornings, but you can also think of it as late Friday after hours, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah, and that's a sweet shift, though, because
it is.
There's still people up moving around doing stuff or just getting up. Yeah. But you play eclectic stuff, left of center, left field kind of stuff. You have great turntable skills. So here we really venerate the DJ as an artist, because it is an art when you think about it. Putting music together, you can't, mix things that don't have necessarily the same BPM, or if you do it, you're just doing it in different ways. So what we always love to do is kind of go back to people's origins and get a good rock solid sense of how they first started. So when did you first started to get involved with music, and was it around the DJ piece, or was there a musical instrument involved, or give us some flavor?
Well, I grew up in Southern California for one, and down there the music scene, especially like underground dance music in general, is really diverse, and it's been like that since, well, who knows how long, but for me, I grew up in the 80s for the most part. So
you're what, like 53 now?
No, 39, right.
Are you only 39?
Yeah, I'm 39 now.
Is that Gen X?
So you literally did grow up in like you were a child.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Pretty much, yeah. But pretty much old enough, though, to pay attention to the music around me.
See, that's important to say. Because we did have a real rich music history, and I think we even reported that on this show previously, that children that grew up in the 80s had the richest musical history.
I've actually shared that opinion, too, honestly. I feel lucky about it, really. But down there, especially if you hung around record stores like I did, you weren't really hearing just one or two genres of music. There was almost anything you could possibly think of in one record shop,
right?
From jazz to techno to
all the genres. Just
so many things, really. Yeah. And if you're curious like me, digging around through the music, the clerk sitting behind the counter is playing stuff they like as well. Right. And it's typically not something that necessarily you would have any idea that it even exists.
Right.
So I got exposed to a lot of music through those clerks that were playing music while I was digging around. And and just the people in general in California. I grew up amongst the lowrider culture, so rap music back then, funk. That was big. Yeah. And this is particularly in Orange County, California.
Right. I saw that movie.
Oh, so you were right in the heat of everything.
Pretty much.
Like almost Public Enemy days and stuff, right? I mean, shit.
Yeah. So I'm hearing mixtapes. Right. I'm hearing the stuff that's coming out of these cars, as they're cruising by.
Are you familiar with a DJ named John Bishop?
I'm familiar with the name, yeah.
Yeah, he's been in San Diego.
Oh, not kidding, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, go on.
No,
the reason I'm saying that is because he was major trance guy. Him and Kimball collaborated a lot. They actually put out a dual tape, like two tapes that came in like a...
Remember the tapes?
Yeah. But anyways, carry on. I don't mean to take away, but John Bishop is... he's a big influence in Southern California.
The name does pop up in my mind further down there. But, I grew up around that, and so a lot of that I absorbed, and I loved it. And the reason it's really stuck with me is because they were playing stuff that, like, normal, like, pop radio wasn't playing.
Right.
So I'm talking about, like, Kraftwerk and all those weird, just songs, relatively weird. So all these years, and mind you, I didn't know anything about it, like who Kraftwerk was, or the names of the songs themselves. So it kind of sparked curiosity in me to look for this stuff.
It caused you to go search it out.
Yeah. Which is big. Yeah.
Remember Kyoki?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Kyoki.
So, I mean...
Do I remember Kyoki?
So, yeah, I mean, all these DJs and people playing all this music down there really is what kind of started my obsession with this music. And really, it hasn't stopped. It never really stopped.
So so it started over there, and did you get into some kind of? Did you learn to DJ over there, or how'd you kind of pick that up, or was there a musical instrument also in the mix?
Yeah.
Well, I played violin when I was very young, but honestly,
can you read music?
I used to. I think at this point, I'm probably not going to be able to now. It's been a long time.
If it's Braille,
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I did that, but honestly, the DJing part, there are a few folks in my town that were doing it, and this is back then when it wasn't commonly known about, or it was an oddity back then, not like today.
Right.
You know, most people didn't quite understand what it was exactly.
Right. In other words, it wasn't as popular as it is today. It was like, you know.
So, but for me, noticing around town and the music they were playing, it really stuck with me, and I wanted to know more about what these guys were doing. So I was always the guy kind of next to them playing, looking at the records.
That's a good spot to be in.
Yeah. An annoying spot for them, unfortunately, but for me, I didn't care. I wanted to learn what they were playing.
Yeah, give your request to Will.
So, that being said, who's some of your major influence? Who were you kind of train spotting at the time?
Okay, well, that's an interesting story. Back in Los Angeles during the 80s, there was a flea market or a swap meet. They would call it over there. It's called the Rhodium Swap Meet. And as I understand it now, I didn't know this at the time. The Dr. Dre, before he became famous, he used to sell mixtapes there.
Yeah. Okay.
Him along with some other DJ named Tony A.
All right.
One time, when I was very young, it was around I think 87 or 88. I bought a tape there, and I listened to it, and to this day, it is the most amazing mix I've ever heard in my entire life. I have bits and pieces in my memory of it. Unfortunately, I lost it. It's like the holy grail now, and nobody has been able to tell me where I can find it.
So that's incredible. So you got like this underground mixtape, Dr. Dre.
So you were like really young. You were probably like, what, 10 years old, 11 years old?
Something like that, yeah. And mind you, this tape it was mostly hip-hop, of course, but what made it amazing was that it was mixing together hip-hop with soul, oldies. I'm talking 1950s oldies.
Right
okay? And some really weird stuff, disco, electro-funk, and it would go into Miami bass. It would lay over these like children's story records over this stuff, and like weird bits of like radio and TV commercials and dialogue. It's like a lot of the stuff that you would expect from DJ Shadow today.
Okay.
All right, that's okay.
But I was hearing it on this tape.
Okay.
During that time, it was extremely fast paced, like unhumanly fast paced. However, in my mind, I'm picturing a guy on two turntables doing all this. Yeah. It's not until years later I started to realize, this was not done on turntables. There's no way. Back then, a lot of DJs were using multi-track recorders to put all this together, the equivalent of one of those digital audio workstations we use today. Yeah. Okay. So they were doing it like that back then, but it still sounded amazing. And like I said, a lot of DJs like myself assumed that it was being done live on turntables. So as far as the DJing goes, that's pretty much what got me obsessed about it, and I wanted to try to recreate what I heard.
Nice. Very nice.
So, but I got to say that's pretty cool, because at a young age to be able to decipher that and like say, where is this coming from? I mean, it shows that you're relatively astute in, learning about it and listening for it. So anyway, so that's interesting. So you kind of self-taught a little bit, kind of learned over the shoulder of giants, as it were,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And then that kind of burgeoned into, hey, did you kind of get to build up a little bit of a name over there before you came over here, or give us?
Oh, to be honest, no.
Okay.
This, as far as like learning what I do now, it took years and years.
Yeah,
I honestly started around 91. Okay, but I started collecting around 88 as far as the music goes. The reason I even started in 91 was because a friend of mine, just about a block down from me, got himself a pair of turntables. And this is back when the rave scene started emerging all of a sudden here in the United States. And at first we were playing a lot of like old school funk and hip hop because in the area we were in, pretty much the ghetto, that's what was popping, you know?
Right, you got to do it.
Yeah. So we started with that, but then, like I said, the rave scene came in, and all of a sudden we found ourselves looking for techno records and all this weird stuff, you know, that were playing in the rave scene.
Right.
So with that said, that's when I started getting really more, having more access to turntables because of him. So anytime I had a chance, I would try to get behind his gear and try to learn. He didn't like that very much because, you know, it was his gear. But
don't touch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But, you know, I did what I could, and it was like pretty much using his equipment or anybody else's I could find at the time. And I did that for a good while, and I actually got to DJ some like rave events, big ones.
Really?
But I sucked. That's the irony.
Yeah.
I was
working
really
the
bad.
kinks out. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was really bad. I actually played at least one huge warehouse rave. I can't imagine how many people were in there. But yeah, it was horrible. But I can literally say I've done a huge rave, but I sucked bad.
Right
but
on.
Well, but that's good. I mean, to get the exposure to get out there, and who remembers it? Right? They're like, oh, that one guy. It's all. It's all, and that's what I guess people forget about is that because the internet was not really there, you had to live or die by the posters you were on, right? The events, the event posters, and those were like gold. Like,
so what's your DJ name?
Mars Radio.
Mars Radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Back then, I didn't really have a name. I just kind of went by my own name.
And is that MARS Radio?
Yeah.
Yeah. All one word.
Mars Radio. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So then you came over here. How long you been here now? You said
about
7
6 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. 6
Right
years
on.
roughly.
So what do you got going on here these days? I mean, like tell us some of the.
Let's talk about when he came here.
All right. Yeah. There you go.
I guess my question is, before we get there, is when you came here, give us a sense of, and this is what we impress upon weekly, the Orlando community, the culture. What did you experience kind of when you got here? Was it a little open arms, a little closed? I mean, how did that all go for you? Give us a flavor around that.
Okay. I do find myself making a lot of comparisons between the scene in California and here, and that really started off once I moved here, of course. There's benefits to doing something here, starting off as an unknown. And the benefit I see is that, at least from my standpoint, some people are probably not going to be happy with what I'm about to say. From my standpoint, not a lot has been done in this town that could have been done. That's
valid.
Yeah, as far as the DJ scene and the club scene.
Okay.
Now, I understand, so I've been told by a lot of friends that I have here, is that this
Where you going with this?
Orlando, Florida has a very rich history in the rave scene from the 90s.
Not just the rave scene, but a rich history in the music
beats.
scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just break beats, trance, the whole techno genre. But go on.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Go on.
that's what I've been told, and so I go by that, and but honestly, that's not what I see now. Maybe that's what
I'll give you that
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Now today.
Yeah.
Here 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, so when Orlando was really making a name for itself was late 80s, early 90s. The first time Sasha and Digweed ever came to the States was here in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
The first time the Chemical Brothers ever came to Orlando or the States was in Orlando.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go on and on. And then Orlando produced, all kinds of,
Yeah.
But
And
but that's the history.
Well, it's
and
interesting.
A lot was done here in Orlando. But since you've been here,
Well-
I wouldn't say craft's been done.
Well-
really. I mean, there's still a lot of DJ. I mean, there's a lot of DJs.
It's not at the
everywhere,
global scale, not at the
Definitely
national
not.
scale that it was.
But really, what is?
But Magic Mike, we had Magic Mike.
Yes, I'm familiar with Magic Mike.
We had Magic Mike.
We heard of him over in Cali. So he was not unfamiliar to us over there.
Didn't they make a movie about him? Bunch of strippers.
No, I actually thought about that too.
Just kidding.
No, I mean, like I said, I came here, and as I mentioned before, California has a very diverse musical scene.
Oh, yeah.
And the underground music scene in particular, it has tremendous support. I can vouch for at least south of Los Angeles, all right? And it's still like that because I still keep in touch with some people over there.
Right.
However, here, it's... we have an underground dance music scene.
Yes, we do.
But I find it to be particularly small. It seems like it seems to me like Orlando is more, I guess, in touch with the EDM pop,
Well, like
more
type
housey thing.
It depends.
Not even house.
Deep house.
Well, I gotta say,
What is deep house?
there's little pockets of all that here in
Yes.
Orlando.
Yeah, you got lots.
And if
of
you're
stuff.
not in the particular pocket, you don't really know. But there's definitely all the genres are definitely represented here in Orlando. There's no doubt. But they are small pockets. But whatever with that. So what do you now that you're here? What are you doing now? Like what I mean, like when's your next gig?
Okay, well,
So then we're George Jetson.
Well, I mean,
George Jetson into the future, right? It's like, hey. So all right, so
my
that's
boy
good.
Elroy.
So he came over there, daughter Judy, Jane, his wife, all that, and we know all that. So you got here, you're here, you're kind of like, hey, I'm from California. This is weird. It's just different, right? And then. You start kind of meeting people, going through, getting the inception of Mars Radio. When did Mars Radio begin? Was that 4 or 5 years ago? Something?
As far as the name goes, as far back as I can remember, it started sometime, I think, in the early 2000s, but in California, and it's just something I kind of toyed around with. And one of the earliest recordings I have of me using that moniker is a drum and bass mix that I just did on a whim.
All right.
I did it on a whim using my roommate's friend's records. He just happened to bring, and I just dropped this name called Underground Rhythm District and Mars Radio.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the first recording I have of that. And I think that was back in 2007 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the rich history here with D&B here in Orlando. I mean, with AK 1200 and
Yeah, I know of 1200. I'm a big fan of his for sure.
I was just with him in Tampa last week, actually.
Yeah.
And
we've interviewed him on the show, thanks
nice.
through Jerry. So then keep going into that story. You came over here, Orlando, because right now, I mean, you resident at Kush. That's a great bar downtown. You play out. You're on WPRK every week. What is that?
Wow.
Friday late nights. Yeah,
resident at Kush.
Downtown.
Gary Schwartz.
He's
awesome.
Yeah,
so love us some Gary Schwartz.
So again, that talks a lot to the vibe because that badass up in that white room, right? In the at Kush, so maybe speak a little bit about that. What kind of things, that you're doing now and maybe kind of want to push into a new direction? Because I'll tell you what, man, I admire the fact you're doing what you're doing because it's a lot like here, like what we're doing. It's one or two guys, making shit happen, keep pushing forward. It's a weekly. This guy's weekly. And I think it was last week, the rare occasion where you were actually sick and you I can't do it. Right? Was that last week? Yeah.
No, that was this past weekend.
Okay, all right. Well, that happens, though. I mean, geez.
I mean, I did it, but I'll be perfectly honest. It was not my best performance. And, I was upset about it, but I did the full 2 hours, and then I I apologized about it later on. But
that's what it was. You're like, I just was not. Yeah.
It was, I was just not.
So you
feeling
did it.
all that
It's
well.
not that you didn't do it.
I did it,
You
but
did
it was just.
yeah.
I might as well.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't have done it.
Okay.
You know.
Gotcha.
Well, that's where instinct comes in. Sometimes you gotta say, I gotta listen to a wiser wisdom. But I love the fact that you're out there every week and you're doing that and you're pushing, original sounds. You do straight up to you mix on a turntable.
Yes.
The majority of the time, like 100% of the time, right? You're pretty diehard in doing that, right?
Yeah, that's what
You're devoted to that.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
See,
turntables. Not a lot of people are doing that these days. That's
that's what I'm saying. So maybe talk a little bit about that and kind of preserving, besides Dizzle, Dizzle Funk does that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot to lug that gear around and stuff like that. But talk a little bit about the passion of doing that and why maybe people should realize that that's worth it. When you got it, you got two turntables and a microphone.
Oh man, I could get pretty deep on this, but I hope I don't bore people with this, but. One of the things I didn't mention, down in California, we had mix shows on the radio.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
And I was listening to people such as the mix masters, Julio G, Tony G, and a probably better known name, Joe Cooley from Rodney O and Joe Cooley. They were mixing on the radio regularly, and this was live radio. This wasn't something that's pre-recorded and then just,
all mistakes,
played back.
You leave them in.
Yeah.
Because they're there.
So I'm finding out through people that work in the radio industry today, or friends of mine, I didn't know this, but a lot of the stuff that you hear on FM radio nowadays is pre-recorded. It's all done very cozily and
it's like set up like automation. Like they've got the little automated. Sure, it's a great day today. They've even got the DJ automated. You're right.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until he told me like a couple of years ago, actually. And I didn't grow up to that. I grew up with live radio. If a mistake was made on the air, you were gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. And these guys like Joe Cooley and the Mix Masters, they were mixing on the turntables, and they were doing pretty much like very fast paced, very risky stuff. Bouncing between two songs, back and forth, scratching, and just getting weird with it, really. And mind you, playing stuff from Detroit, a lot of the electro-funk stuff and hip-hop, which at the time was not as embraced on most radio stations. Most radio stations were playing pop or rock, for the most part. So it was something extremely alien. Now, all those, weird acrobatics that we're doing on the turntables on the radio rubbed off on me. I was like, I want to know how to do that, So I started, once I started getting behind the turntables later on, I tried to mimic what I heard. So I started really studying a lot of DJs' mixes.
Interesting.
Yeah. I started listening to mega mixes on records that were printed by people like Cameron Paul, of Mix It Records. And I tried to mimic everything they were doing and try to learn how they made it work. And again, like I said before, some of this stuff was
from a
live.
logistic period, from a standpoint, you had to figure it out. Well, you had to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no school like today. I know they have DJ schools now, which is it's so bizarre to me, but we didn't have that. You had to learn pretty much by doing it and just kind of figuring it out, because this was all uncharted territory. We were making it up as we went. Yeah, totally. We were taking a turntable, which fundamentally was meant for you to put a record on, push play, and walk away. Yeah, that was all this stuff that we were doing and are doing now with it. We're doing it wrong. It's not meant for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so and that's more or less where I started going in that direction, just listening to all these tapes and mixes and just trying to mimic everything that I heard. And I got obsessed with trying to mix as quickly as possible, on these mega mixes. Yeah. So. And at the time, that was actually not the norm for most DJs.
It's kind of like a medley at that
yes,
point.
Exactly. A medley, you would call them that. Most DJs were a little more relaxed. Like today, they just go from one song to the other and just let it play out. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all good. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to sound like these medleys. but live.
Right.
So what I did, once I got myself a pair of turntables, which was my very own around 1996, I locked myself in a room. I literally locked myself in a room, and I just went through all my old school records, and I tried to recreate everything I heard.
That sounds like Stylist or something.
Right. How old were you?
No, but he was on house arrest, I think.
I was in my 20s, something
wow.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I try to recreate all those mixes and try to understand how to make it work together, how to transition smoothly from one song to the other, where, like, say, the vocals on one song that's already playing cut out automatically, and then it smoothly goes into the vocals of the next song, like it's one, complete thing. You can't tell the difference.
It was supposed to be that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's what I wasn't hearing. A lot of DJs weren't doing that. I wanted to know how to do that, so I became obsessed with that, and I did that for hours and hours and hours every day for years. I didn't have a life, pretty much.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
really
eventually I
sequestered yourself. Huh?
Yeah. And I became pretty much a shut-in, and I became obsessed with trying to understand how these things fit together. You know, try to understand how to anticipate the chorus, how to anticipate the bridge. Just kind of notice that there's certain patterns in music that are very common amongst music.
It's true.
So that's what I did for years and years and years. And the interesting part is that I'm actually, I was painfully shy.
What do you mean? Oh,
like,
you didn't want to talk to people.
I was not very good with talking to people. I was very shy. And even though I had friends before that, it was... Yeah.
So you learn all this, and then you're skilled, and then you're like, how do I get myself out there?
Exactly. So you see where I'm going with this.
Okay.
So I just happened to get I got lucky that I met a DJ that just happened to live a few blocks from me. He was the opposite. He was very outgoing.
Who was this?
His name's Robert. Used to go by DJ Romeo, but now he goes by Robert XL.
Okay.
So he's going to be happy I mentioned him.
There you go.
Hi, Robert.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this guy, he was into a lot of the music that I like. Yeah.
Excel spreadsheets.
I actually like that name better. Excel sounds cool.
Is he an extra large guy?
No.
Wow.
Just regular old dude.
Oh, girl.
Okay.
Anyway,
come on.
But so I got together with this guy. We noticed we lived close to each other, and we started just kind of hitting it off and mixing together and doing like little tag team sessions and stuff.
Yeah.
He had friends that also DJ'd and was doing scratching and all this cool stuff. We got together with them. Before I knew it, I was pretty much hanging out with a crew of DJs, a small one. And through them, I started DJing at clubs for the first time. Pretty much
that's cool.
They would invite me, and I would go with them.
little kind of network and got set up, and we're like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm out here.
Pretty much. So it was a way of me of getting into the club scene without me actually going by myself and approaching the club people.
Like, hey.
Yeah, so they actually, I credit them for helping me out with that,
Can't touch this.
Breaking me in.
Well, and that's cool. And you definitely have the skills. You have the chops. And that's what I guess a lot of people forget about when they go out to a club and there's a guy up there with two CDJs or what have you, they're mixing digitally, technically. They're still kind of mixing.
Computer.
But it's a little bit easier. Right? It's way easier, actually. There's the margin of error is removed when you do it that way. But the way you do it, again, is a skill and is something that people, if they haven't experienced, I think really need to be able to subject themselves to in order to understand the art of the DJ.
I agree. I agree.
Speaking with Will Castro.
Will Castro. Otherwise known as
the JB Rev Show.
He's got a radio show on PRK 91.5.
WPRK. Yeah, so we'll fast forward, get us up a little bit.
Fast forward too much.
Fast forward really quick. We're talking really fast. Okay.
But no, how long have you been doing the show on PRK?
I started in, I think it was around February of 2013.
You think it was?
Yeah, it was either February or March. It was somewhere in between.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to Google this right now.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But yeah, I started around that time.
Google that right now.
So it hasn't been easy. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
No?
but it's been worth it. I've had a good
3 to
run
5.
with it.
It's 3 to 5. Friday night, Saturday morning.
Yes.
Right on.
It's a great way to kind of. Now you must have. I mean, and you say 3 to 5 a.m. That's kind of underground culture.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's the after hours
so that's
people.
why you have So that's why you got the underground.
Bring it down.
What is it?
Bring it down. Underground. It's called the Underground Dance Code.
Underground Rhythm District.
Rhythm District.
See?
That's what it was. All right, you messed me up, Reverend.
It's a URD.
Yes, I call it that too.
Yeah, URD.
Underground Rhythm District. Will Castro in the room. Can you hang out a little bit?
Yeah.
You gotta go? Okay, well, maybe hang out.
Let's. We got anything that?
Let's talk about.
He's got a SoundCloud page.
Go to Kush.
I noticed.
Go to Kush. Yeah. Well, what I'd like to do is maybe hook up an alliance.
An alliance. Yeah.
Networks, as it were.
All right. Okay, that's cool.
Since Orlando Weekly.
I got a question.
Sure.
So, Gary Swartz, that guy. How did you meet Gary?
Okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a good story.
Okay. Well,
unless you just went into Kush looking for whippets.
No. No, we don't roll like that. No.
All right. Well, Oh, see this bracelet I'm wearing right now?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So Gary also owns Kathmandu, which is downstairs.
That's right.
Of Kush, and then he also owns a second location, Kathmandu, on Park Avenue.
Yes.
And back in the day, Gary used to have Kathmandu across the street from the Beecham Theater.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
yeah. So this bracelet, my wife actually bought me. Hi, Dana, I love you, baby. When she was going to move into my house, and I was like, when she took me out to this awesome park, and we had a glass of wine. She's like, I want to give this to you, and I was like, you know what? I'll never take this off.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary is such a solid guy. We need to have Gary on, by the way.
Oh, I recommend that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Gary,
I love that
guy.
What? He's great. A good friend of mine, Frank Lindemann, introduced me to him, and I've known him for quite a while.
That's what we're going to make happen.
That's what we good.
So that being said,
he's making plans.
Will Castro,
yes.
How did you meet Gary? And how did it come about where he said, you know what, I want you to play in my Kush?
Actually, I actually had my eye on Kush for a little while when I first noticed it on Facebook, actually. And I was meaning to go there and see, if they needed a DJ.
Right.
I never really got around to it. I was doing my radio show as usual one night, and I was spinning what I call space disco. Spinning space disco.
So let me ask you this: space disco? Give me a band's name that you consider like a space disco band or a group.
Okay, well, it's
he makes it.
Well, no, he doesn't make it. He
makes space disco.
No, you don't make music when you're DJing it, dude. Yeah. He's playing certain things. So that being said, what are some space disco bands? Like I would say, I know. I could answer that question. Some of my space disco bands would be like Spangle, Left Field. That you know what I mean. So
Well, as far as the space disco stuff goes, it doesn't necessarily have to be new music or old.
Right.
However, there is a lot of old disco. You have to dig for it.
Right.
That has like a space sci-fi theme to it.
Okay.
And some of it overlaps into Italo disco, like a lot of Giorgio Moroder stuff.
Joe T. Vanelli.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
So, and a lot of it is very obscure. Some people are not going to know laser, things like that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm talking about things like that. And as far as the new stuff goes, a lot of it's being called future retro or future wave. A lot of it kind of fits that vibe. So I try to blend together the old school space disco with this new stuff that sounds, to me at least, very similar in style.
Right.
So and I have to credit two DJs here in town that actually exposed me to that sound.
Who?
It's Tommy Mott of Spacebar.
All right.
And Q Burn's Abstract Message. I heard them do this.
So let me tell you
before.
something. Michael and Tommy, Tommy especially, is like one of my closest friends ever.
Yeah. We interviewed Q Bam in like season 2 or 3.
Yeah, we have.
He's
Michael.
badass. Michael's
Yeah.
badass.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I'm asking you
but
space disco.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a good
So it's a
side.
great question.
Yeah,
and it's
a
what,
great
it's in everyone's space disco can
Right.
be a little bit different.
Something means
But
something
when
different.
he's saying it's coming from, his influences or for people like Mont or Q-Burns, I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I would think.
Okay, so
space disco
you're
would
playing
be.
space disco, and now this is the meeting of Gary.
Well, yeah. So I'm playing space disco,
back to
and
Gary. Good tie-in there, buddy.
And then I think it was like a day or two later, I think it was a text message on Facebook. I think that's how it went down. I got a message from a guy there who I'm friends with, who works there, Matt Taylor.
I know Matt.
Yeah, and he's telling me more or less, "Yo, I'm really digging what you were doing on the radio," because he listens right after he gets off work. So he's like, "Okay, that space disco stuff. You think would you be interested in doing this at Kush?"
Right.
And I'm thinking, Kush? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sure. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, we need a DJ here Friday nights. If you're open to it, we'd like to, hire you.
Do you play every Friday?
Oh, no, I play Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But
very nice.
The crazy thing is that I don't just play space disco now. I play all kinds of stuff there.
You
now.
probably I don't. I'm thinking now that I'm getting to know you, Will, and what you're saying. I mean, anybody that kind of or any DJ that limits himself to one particular genre, to me, isn't a very good DJ because you don't. First of all, I mean, you can have a favorite genre per se, like I love house, okay, but or I love breaks. But if you only play breaks or you only play house for people, I mean, because I've been a DJ for 30 plus years now, all right. So you have to know how to be a good DJ. You have to know how to read a room, all right. So let's say you've got your boys there, and everybody likes trance, and I'm just throwing examples out there. Everybody likes trance, and they're grooving on it. But then, say a bachelorette party comes in, girls that are throwing stupid requests. You don't play their requests, but you can still play stuff that you know what I mean. Like it's all about, and that's something about being a good DJ is you don't limit yourself to a particular genre. For the longest time, and I'm not trying to make this about me but for the longest time, people were like, "Oh, what kind of music do you like?" And I'm like, I used to say when I was younger and stupid, I used to say, "Man, I like everything but country."
Yeah, I've heard that.
But now, you know what? That's such a bullshit thing to say. If you're gonna say you don't like country, or you don't like, I like everything but classic rock, or I like anything but whatever. You know what? If you don't like music that's done well, it doesn't matter what genre it is. You should be able to be open enough to appreciate any music that is done well, written well, performed well. You know what I mean? So don't ever limit yourself to a particular genre. And and I'm not trying to give you advice.
That's a good point. But that's a good point.
That.
I mean, you have to be open, and that's kind of the story that we heard from Will tonight. Is that you can be able to detect all this. Where's this coming from? This is a 50s song. This is a narration from a kid's rhyme or something. Yeah. You got to have your ears open and see how stuff fits together, because it does. From the small to the big. So
that's right.
I really appreciate the fact you came in, man.
Man.
You rock, buddy.
Oh, you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Will Castro, go check out. Is it MarsRadio.com?
I think
MarsRadioDJ.com.
Thank you.
Okay.
MarsRadioDJ.com.
Or UndergroundRhythmDistrict.com.
And tonight's Tuesday night, so this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you're going to be at Kush downtown?
Yeah, Thursday,
That's
Fridays,
badass.
and Saturdays.
So did we ever get to how you met Gary?
Yeah, Matt introduced me to Gary once they hired me there.
So you didn't really, you got just introduced to Gary. So have you ever spent much time with that guy?
Working there, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that guy is cool. Incredible.
Yes,
all right. So I'm getting to wrap it up.
Incredible. Now, we're going to prep up for a call, 8 o'clock hour with Mark Hunt. Talk a little bit about ear theater.
I'm hoping his brother Mike calls
I don't know if Mike's calling
I'm hoping Mike's going to be there because I love Mike Hunt.
I know Mark is definitely
Mike
calling
Hunt.
in. Not
Mark's cool too, but Mike is really cool. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. We're going to cut away to a little bit of the Polish Ambassador to stay in the vibe of DJs. Check this out. It's called Never Coming Down featuring rapper Pharrell.
Yeah. once the dust has settled in and never coming down. If you're looking for me somewhere but you never hear an answer, get around. Lost out here forever, and I guess if this is heaven, and I'm never coming down, never coming down. I'm leaving, I won't see you till November. Never coming down. And I wish that I could stay here forever. Never coming down. 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 Yeah, I'm over the map, and they don't understand it. The bit of both thoughts, hoping the planets. They wanted me to fall off, clipping my wings. See me on the bottom of the back of my feet. On my arms are, but I'm moving in Neptune. Credit every day, but the better that left you. I never knew that heaven could be here underground. Now look at them, it's elegant and elegant gown. If nobody got time for that, still won't deny the fact that I'm back on the move, but I move like an iron back. See in the sky with the diamonds at. Eyes dilate, now I kiss the gun. So high that I eclipse the sun. When it's too much, I run to escape the rest. But I guess to find a place to erase the stress. But I never come down. But I never come down. And I never come down. And I never come down. And I never come down. Never together again, the wind of the feather. And we're headed, intended to lend a tender. The weather, but I pretended to lend a ring. Repeal that you meant it. I never said it until the end. And I sent him a letter. Better prepare, never together. I know severity, got his head at the level. Whether or not I forgot it better. Papa got up and chatted with Jimmy. You better born in the morning. Someone that level you met it. And with the giant, finally I'm alive and living the fight of gravity. If you wonder where I wonder, like the thunder, the water, get around. Often on that bed, all torn and once the dust had settled, never coming down. If you're looking for me somewhere, but you never hear an answer, get around. Lost out here forever, and I guess if this is heaven, then I'm never coming down, never coming down. I'm leaving, I won't see you till November. Never coming down. I wish that I could stay here forever. Never coming down. 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 Never coming down.
WJBW, Orlando, Florida. The first quasi-radio web show.
Wow. Yeah.
That's right. So we're here
What's
with
up?
the JB Rev
So
Show.
there you go. That's how we do it. A
That's
little
how
bit
we
of
do it.
the Polish ambassador.
Yeah.
What's his name? Pharaoh on
Pharaoh.
kind of doing. I like that first one, and then
Yeah.
that was Mike Beefort out of Italy. So
That's
keeping
very
with
nice.
the hashtag Art of the DJ edition, we're expecting a
Yeah.
call here with Mark Hunt of Ear Theater, and I got to say, Ear Theater is kind of lobbied behind us, as it were. One of our sponsors. We talk about them a lot. There's a big event coming up for them out at Sandwich Bar.
Yep.
September 20th, which is January 20th in real time.
Okay, yeah.
So
you did
it's
say
January.
September. I'm like,
I
wow,
know,
they're really planning ahead for this this big
Yeah.
event.
So just be sure. Yeah.
So I don't have Mark
September
Hunt's
20th,
phone number on my phone here.
Well, I'm
I
trying
thought
to get
I
him to
did.
text
I probably
me. Hold
deleted
on.
it
There
one
is.
night
All right.
because
So
he was
let
all
me, snag
being
this.
stupid. I was
Let
like,
me see if we
man,
can get him.
I'm gonna delete his number. Mark
Here it is.
Hunt.
So we're going to talk about this event.
Yeah, we are.
But we're behind Ear Theater because what they do
Totally.
is they take DJs, they let DJs kind of do a little bit of something they might not normally always do.
Mars
like,
Radio,
do
you
a
should do a mix for them.
Yeah, Mars Radio should do a mix for them. That's what I think too.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get them on the line here. We're going to see. It's so it's about an hour set, and they get them together.
Yeah, they want
get
it at
together.
least an hour for sure.
Yeah.
Are you trying to call him right there?
Why am I not hearing?
I hear the phone ringing.
Oh
Man, that's chilly. I tell you what, man. Coming from
hold
the.
on. Why is he coming out of that speaker?
Why
Hold on.
are you coming out?
You're coming out of the wrong speaker, Mark. Hold on.
Mark,
That's
why
the
are you always
problem.
going to come out of the
Okay.
wrong speaker, Mark?
All right.
That's
there we
what
go.
it is.
We got you
Oh,
in
it's
the line.
because it's
Okay. I think
JB's
I got you in the line.
technical,
Now, hold on. All right. So now I think you're there.
Mark, are you there?
Are you there?
Oh,
my
we
God.
can't hear you.
Oh, my
I can hear you going.
It's a
Can you hear me?
snafu.
Can you hear me?
It's a
But
snafu.
not really like.
Speaker
oh my
communications.
God,
Hold on. Let me see if I can change all these settings right
Well,
here. I think we got them.
there, Mark, hey.
I think we got
There you
them.
go.
There we
Hey.
go. Okay. So
It's
now
not
we got
you
them.
on your
Save.
Yeah.
All right.
Now
I'm
you
sorry.
got to turn them down a little
My
bit.
settings got a little wonky there, so I sincerely apologize. But welcome to the call. It's WJBWnetworks.com. What we do, promote talented people, and this is our hashtag Art of the DJ edition. And on the line, a badass DJ in his own right over there. It's Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt.
How the hell you doing, baby? Thanks for calling in. Thank you.
man.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. You're too generous with the talented people calling in.
Oh, come on. Come on.
No,
That's
you
what
know
we
what? We kind of had a meeting about that, and I was totally against it. But he was like, "Come on, man, it's Mark, and I'm like,
okay, no,
All
we
right,
we
it's
love you,
Mark.
buddy, dude. You're a badass.
The Reverend thinks my name is Mike, so
Yeah, I know.
where
Oh,
he
you
lives.
knew that was going to happen. The Mike Hunt.
you don't know where?
joke.
Oh, you had, dude, you've been to my house. Oh, damn it! I gotta watch
We
it
got
now.
Will Castro. We got Will Castro in the room, man. You ever meet Will?
I'm sure we've crossed paths. Absolutely.
Yeah.
MarsRadioDJ.com. Mars,
yeah, of course,
Mars
I know.
Radio, Underground Rhythm District.
Yeah.
There you go. You guys got to get him on an Ear Theater.
I've played on WPRK many times, but not for him. But
Yeah.
in the past, yeah, absolutely.
You totally dig
Right.
it, yeah.
Right,
Well, Mark Hunt on the line again. Appreciate the fact you're able to call in. If you want to, I don't know if you've been kind of listening to the topic of what we're doing tonight, but you want to give us a little bit of a, it's 1,000-foot view of your kind of, involvement with music and DJ career, and more, and especially audio, chops, audio engineering chops and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe you want to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get right to the event.
All right. Yeah. Well, I've had quite extensive work in the studio. I haven't really done anything. Probably, it's probably been at least 8 years since I've really
8 years. Wow.
had anything in the studio. But
Right.
what I've been focusing on is live sound. And
Right.
I taught audio for about 10 years right out of school. I got my audio degree, and then I started teaching pretty much immediately right after that.
So you're at Full
And
Sail now, aren't you?
No, I left Full Sail over a year ago.
Oh, okay, that's right. So
yeah,
you're
I've
at
been doing freelance audio, and designing sound systems,
right,
and yeah, just doing live sound mainly.
Nice, man. That's awesome, dude. I got to say, I've been to a couple of the events that you did. You were responsible for the sound, and it is almost like a 3-dimensional thing that you got working.
3D sound.
You know,
cool.
It's like
we can hear the carrots you're eating.
Yeah, are you eating carrots?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the company that I'm involved with is called Pure Groove Sound Systems.
Yeah.
And we first started off with speakers being manufactured by a company in Atlanta called Danley Sound Labs.
Okay.
And ever since then, we've moved on to some other manufacturers just to try and keep the price down because when you're talking about Danley, they're pretty high-end stuff, and the speakers aren't cheap, and that's kind of what kept people from purchasing a system. So we're trying to keep the cost down and trying to be competitive. So
nice, very nice. Because I got to say, man, that sound system is like there's a couple sound systems I can like kind of compare it to, like the Avalon sound system. I know you got to be familiar with that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the EAW Avalon.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it really is, Mark. When it comes to music, it really is all about the sound. And when you come out and you set this shit up, it really is almost like you've got a pair of headphones on, and that's what's really awesome about what you do, Mark. And I haven't really expressed this to you. Personally, and I'm glad that I have this forum to do this now because, you've been involved in this town. To be honest with you, JB, this guy, I think we should dub him a local legend. Seriously. So, hold on, listen to this.
Local legend interview with Mark Hunt, audio engineer and deep man behind the curtains in a lot of Orlando cultural and musical events.
Absolutely.
Speaking with Mark Hunt, freshly dubbed local legend, over 20 years, kind of pushing.
Definitely been here
in the background. Surprise, we pulled that out on you.
Hey, so that being said, JB, let's delve into to Mark's rich history in this town, because I mean, Mark, were you born here? I kind of feel like you're from here.
I've moved here when I was not even a year old, so I'm pretty much a Winter Park native.
Oh, well, then that shit goes out the window. I'm sorry. I thought you were born here. Fuck you. Just kidding.
I was actually born in Godforsaken, Ohio.
Oh, my God. Like my wife.
I know.
Just like my wife. Anyways, and I love you, Dana. But, Mark, so you've been here since you were a year old, so that means you went to, like, elementary, middle school, high school. You've been here all through your damn 20s.
I went to Audubon Elementary, Glen Ridge Middle School, and Winter Park High School.
There you go. So you're definitely. I was born in the Winter Park Memorial Hospital, which is now. But so I feel like I've known.
Been saying this.
Dude, there's a reason we're going this direction. Okay, so just shut up there, JB. So this guy's been here his whole life. And this is something that I don't actually know, and this is why I want to ask this question. But Mark. I mean, we've known each other for I don't even know how long we've known each other. Probably 20 plus years.
At least.
Yeah. So when did you first? Where was your first gig? And you've always been just known. Go ahead.
Yeah. My first DJ experience was 1990 when. WUCF was still playing
89.9
alternative music instead of their jazz format.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was one of the DJs on their on Wednesdays on their afternoon show.
Awesome.
So that's where I got my start.
Okay. See it? Good question. So obviously that you had that format, you were able to pick up gigs in some of the clubs here. What were some of the first clubs that you were playing at, and who were you playing with?
I think one of the first clubs I played at was the Abyss.
Okay, so for Hawk?
Yeah, so.
Yes,
yep.
Okay.
And ever since then, I played, all the major clubs in Orlando.
Right.
And I've been, blessed with a DJ career to where I've traveled everywhere from Canada to Europe, Mexico to Costa Rica, and practically every major city in the U.S.
Awesome. So about the time around I would say 93, 94. I mean, you were pretty regular on the scene here. I mean, you were playing Abyss at that time. Were you playing the Edge couple shows? I can remember.
I played the Edge a few shows. Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. Okay. So what's funny that I'm saying this, and particularly 93, because I brought this up once before with you, JB. But at that time, I was kind of burgeoning with my DJ career, and I was like, you know what? I really want to expand on this. So I decided to fucking move to Miami, right? And it was like, and then Orlando totally blew up, and then I was mixed in with whatever. But I gotta say, and we're in studio here with Will Castro, Mars Radio, and he was,
we're talking to Mark Hunt.
Yes, we're talking to Mark Hunt.
Okay,
but he's 6 years fresh. But what I'm trying to get at is, I mean, the Orlando scene was just so very forceful and just dominant in the whole, all of the United States. I mean, it was just really a good place to be at the time.
Well, and I think that speaks to the exact point of what the Rev is saying, is that this was a big, it was a big area of underground influence, and Orlando has kind of always been a mutant. It's been best described as a mutant kind of community, where a mutant that nobody really understands it, and so that's why I think exactly why someone like yourself can go on and do great things kind of behind the curtains, which is what we were going to talk about a little bit, is ear theater. But I like where the Rev took us from the 90s, so maybe springboard us up, whatever with your DJ experience. Oh, he wants to rewind. Hold on, he's rewinding.
I'm not rewinding.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me just add this real quick.
There we go. Mind. No, that's what I want.
The first time I was ever in the UK was with Kimball in '94.
Okay.
And he had already brought Sasha over to play, and I heard that Kimball was going over to the UK to play a couple dates with Sasha and John Digweed. So I thought, well, I'm not doing anything, so why don't I tag along?
Right on.
It was a great experience because he played the Renaissance birthday party, and that's the first time I ever met Sam Mollison. And then a year later, Sam Mollison ended up moving here.
Right.
We became great friends. So, there are a lot of parallels between the European or the UK scene and the Orlando scene.
Exactly.
And it was pretty amazing to be there at the beginning of all that.
It's funny you say that, because I was just explaining to Will earlier that the first time that Sasha or Digweed ever came to the United States was here in Orlando. Same with the Chemical Brothers, Suburban Bass. I mean, I could go on. I mean, and a lot of that had to do with, just how intense the scene was back then. I mean, it was really a special place to be. And I got to say, Mark, I just love you, bro. That's all. Just,
thanks, man.
So, I just saw you actually, what was it, Friday night it was Saturday night at a sandwich bar. And, I mean, it's, the scene here is still alive, and there's still a lot going on here. And go ahead, dude.
All right. JB. So I guess that's a good way to kind of segue into. I wanted.
Exactly.
We moved into kind of the DJ in history, and again, all the while you're working in audio engineering, you're doing kind of DJing. As you can do it. I met Mark through Brian, Sound of Mine.
Oh, through the gay ads.
No. Okay. Okay. Nobody said that.
No. All right.
I met Mark through Brian Sound of Mine, I think. Right? Yeah. Isn't that how I met you? Brian Pickett?
I know Brian Sodomy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you do.
No, I'm just kidding.
Of course you do.
Oh Lord.
Sound of Mine. Brian Sound of Mine.
So bring us along the trajectory of kind of moving from that 90s period into modern day, and maybe you're one of the founders of Ear Theater. We talk about Ear Theater every week.
Yes, we do.
So kind of softly dovetail us up to that.
Be soft.
Well, ever since I got my degree and I've been teaching, I've also been doing freelance work and live sound. So I got an opportunity in 2013 to work with that Pure Groove company. And our first outing was we did a couple of the venues at the Winter Music Conference and Miami Music Week.
Okay.
And, I was there working, 18 hours a day for the entire week, so I didn't really get much sleep. And that's and I thought that I was going to be able to segue into that and do that full time.
Right.
But we just, the sound system market wasn't, as explosive as we thought it would be.
Right.
So I had to stick around at teaching at Full Sail for a couple of years until I got grounded and made a few more contacts. And now I'm just focusing on the freelance gigs, and so yeah, I'm making a decent living at that.
And also,
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not really stressed about teaching because when you're a Full Sail, the way that they had their schedule set up, you're teaching the same thing every month. It's not like you're in a semester where you can spread it out 3 or 4 months. You're rolling over the same material, and I did that for 10 years, every month teaching the same thing over and over. So it just it was mind numbing. So I had to get out of that and do something that I loved, which is getting back to my roots with DJing and just being an audio engineer.
You are a good teacher. You taught me how to be a complete prick. So no, just kidding.
That's mostly what I'm known for.
Well, that's and your brother Mike, your twin evil brother.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
It just went off the rails, I think. Okay.
So no, let's talk about the Ear Theater now and how this has come about, and all the. You've had a lot of really amazing DJs, that have done. That's and you got this event coming up on the 20th?
I think it's the 20th of Friday night at Sandwich Bar. Yeah,
nice. All right,
absolutely.
So let's talk about Ear Theater a little bit. Some of what are some of the one of your just let's talk about Ear Theater a little bit. Okay.
Okay. I think he's trying to say just fill us in.
It was originally an idea that Scott Shapiro pitched to myself and John Hessian and Christopher Tennant and John Barry.
Right.
So there's quite a few residents.
Right.
But we also have guests that we feature as well, and we're in the. It's mainly a podcast, but if you search for Ear Theater and on Facebook and you like our page, then you'll get some good articles about the music scene and production and things like that.
Totally,
so we're not just a podcast. We're
absolutely
kind of a full service.
And
music,
you have a lot of very legendary DJ guests as well. You've you've had you've had Mary Ann on there before, or Baby Ann, I should say. Who are some of the ones that some of the things that really stand out for you? And
a friend of mine from Scotland, Stephen McCreary. He's been in the scene for quite a long time. He was the label manager at Limbo. If any of you guys remember Limbo Records back in the day, he was a label manager for them, and he was part of Dose Deviants.
Right.
So he's been, he's been a staple in the dance music scene for a number of years.
Nice.
And we had one of his. He's got a mix series called the Sofa Sessions.
Right.
And we featured one of his on there.
Very nice.
And we've also had Simon Lovechild. We've had him a few times as a guest on our.
That's awesome.
On our podcast. Yeah. So yeah, quite a few. And prior to Ear Theater, I was doing a couple of other radio shows. I did a live one on Transdomain, and then I also did another one out of Leeds, out of the UK.
Okay,
it was called,
that's cool.
Northern Underground, and I really liked that because I got a chance to actually do voiceovers and talk over the mixes.
Nice.
But with the Ear Theater, we kind of decided to depart from that and just do a straight up mix without any overdubs.
That's awesome. So with the mixes that are on Ear Theater, they're about an hour long.
Yeah, I think, and people can go to djpodcast.blogspot.com and
they're also on Mixcloud.
Follow the feed there. Yeah, they're on iTunes.
Yeah,
and
many platforms.
Yeah, many platforms. I think SoundCloud as well. But go check them out. Again, the main site is djpodcast.blogspot.com. So check it out. It's an incredible effort. And again, if you want a little hour set that's badass from a guest DJ, a couple few times a month or whatever, this is definitely highly recommended from what we do here. So
I gotta say, I've been a guest DJ on
you have we use the Reverend set,
and I gotta say, Mark, I have been working on another one, kind of in the same radio redo.
It's a new one.
The Reverend's Radio Redo.
Yeah, 2.
But the Reverend's Radio Redo 2. But I've been working on a track with AK1200 on an edit, and it's gone. We were thinking it'd be done in end of October, but it's been so
it's a good thing
progressing forward that
you get swept away to Hollywood.
It's
Reverend Will's here.
I'm really looking forward to this. So
that's good.
And I love the Ear Theater platform, and I love the mixes on there, and I love the residents being John Hessian, Christopher Tennant, Scott Shapiro, John Barry, as well as Mark.
Oh.
And the four of them.
Yeah, you got some serious.
That's some serious talent right there.
4 horsemen of the house. Apocalypse.
And I give much praise to these guys because they really. Let me tell you something, JB.
I'm looking at the site now. There's Brian Busto, episode 62.
Oh, yeah.
Let's check that out.
So JB, the reason we're shining so much light on Ear Theater is because these 4 guys. They know what's going on in the scene. Seriously. And I've got much respect for what you've been doing, Mark, and I consider you a good friend. You've been to my house, and you're just, and dude, you're just you're a good guy, and I really appreciate appreciate you.
You're
and what
fantastic,
you do.
and again, I appreciate all the insight, the stories. That's really what we love to hear. Kind of be able to chronicle it,
and
do a little bit. Chronicle it, showcase it. That's a good word. Shine a light. But let's talk a little bit before we close this out. Let's talk a little bit about the event 20th Sandwich Bar in the heart of the Milk District. There, the is it the right aortical vein?
No, it's more like
it's a sandwich bar or something. And then the Iron Cow is coming. You see, Iron Cow. Look out for the Iron Cow. All right. Anyway, we're talking shop, but on the line, Mark Hunt. Give us the skinny on the Ear Theater event going on January 20th, Sandwich Bar.
This should be the third party we've thrown at Sandwich Bar. Our first Ear Theater party was at another lounge downtown, and
we're not going to mention that name. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we didn't really care for the sound there. It was it sounded like you're in a box. So we got a call from Matt, the owner of Sandwich Bar, and he said, "Hey, why isn't Ear Theater doing their parties here at Sandwich Bar?" And I said, "Well, we're going to have a talk about that." And
nice.
And it took us a little while to iron out some dates. And our next party is, of course, January 20th on Friday night. And, nice. It's going to be, we're going to have some deep house, and we're going to be really pushing the new music more on the deep tip.
Well, you know what? I think
we're also, go ahead.
I'm thinking maybe that Tuesday before the 20th, maybe we can talk to John Hessian, or maybe even John Barry.
Right. Well, we don't have,
because we've talked to Scott.
Today is the and next week we've got the 200th episode. So we'll do that whatever we can.
Playing, on the 20th.
There you go. That's what we will.
It will be myself, Scott Shapiro, and John Barry.
Okay. Oh, all right. There you go.
Not the entire resident lineup.
All right.
We don't have enough time to fit all the residents in on a night like that. So
right.
What we've been doing is we do a 3-person rotation where we'll have 3 people play, and then the next event we'll have the other 3 people play.
Awesome.
Well, go check that shit out. It's Ear Theater, djpodcast.blogspot.com. That's the hookup. There's a bunch of RSS feeds so you can go through there. On the line with us again, Mark Hunt. Thank you, brother.
Man.
We appreciate you, man.
Very much so, dude.
You rock. All right.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, Rock the House. There he goes. All right, so go check that shit out.
Check that shit
take
out.
a little break, come back and do the news. You out?
I got to get out of here, buddy.
All right, dig this. We'll be right back.
Tell me, you tell me that when we kiss it feels right, but I know we're just creatures of the night. Don't get ahead of yourself, you know the key is to keep it tight, 'cause in the shadows, what we have is out of sight, it's out of sight. I see the lion in your eyes. You can hunt me, but I'm a hunter in disguise. You can tell me I see nothing wrong with a few white lines, 'cause in the shadow, you know what we have is out of sight. It's out of sight.
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show. Oh my God, what a remarkable show thus far. Will Castro, we interviewed. He's hanging out with us here. You're going to do some news?
Yeah, I'm all for it.
The Reverend had to cut out. He's got a lot of home improvement stuff he's doing. But spoke with Mark Hunt after that, and freaking incredible. So let's blow through a few stories, good, bad, and ugly.
And now, breaking news badly.
Breaking news badly. Hashtag breaking news badly. You can share a story on Facebook or Twitter or your social media. Just use the hashtag and share your stupid story. We might read it on this program that we do after the JB Rev Show. They're both connected. It's both the same thing. It's both the same. Don't tell Jerry. Don't tell the Reverend. All right. So sad news first. We'll get that out of the way. Of course, the death of 2 police officers. Recently here, WFTV Channel 9, through their Facebook page, Deputy Norman Lewis, 11-year veteran. He died in pursuit of a suspect, well, apparent suspect, alleged suspect. Is that how you say it? Alleged suspect that had just recently shot another police officer.
Oh, wow.
And she was a female police officer. But again, that's so sad news. Our hearts going out to their families, the loved ones. Just a tragic loss. I don't understand. I guess they're still looking for the guy. So I don't know. They found him? Did they find him?
They looking for him.
Okay, that's weird. All right. So they're looking for him. So next up, Norway will become the first country in the world to do what? Do you think you know? Do you?
I have no idea.
What are they going to be the first? Norway will become the first country in the world to switch off FM radio.
Oh yeah.
Tiny little hands that make my cock.
Why?
Yeah. There we go.
The
article is from WashingtonPost.com. FM broadcasting was invented in the United States in 1933. After a slow start, it became wildly popular all around the world, largely because of frequency modulation technology used offered better sound quality than the existing amplitude modulation AM transmission. So, at any rate, the article goes on to say that they just feel, as the size of the country they are, they're outgrown it. They have no need for it. They don't have the listeners are not there. Everyone's somewhere else.
Wow.
So they've got the data to prove that they don't need it, I guess.
Kind of makes me feel old.
Well, does it? I mean, FM radio,
FM.
that's like something that I guess you take for granted. I don't know. Do people take it for granted that there's something they can just turn on and it's there?
Apparently.
Maybe they do.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so next up, what do I got here? Oh, this is one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about because they were here in Orlando. This is from CLTampa.com. In Tampa, Food Not Bomb activist arrested for feeding the homeless. Again.
That's just ridiculous.
Food Not Bombs, probably about 6 years ago, was here in Orlando. Food Not Bombs. Food Not Bombs. Food Not Bombs. I just can't, to me, it's detestable. That somebody that's just out there literally feeding the homeless, they don't have the permit, whatever, is derogatory to our whole existence. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. You should put jail and put them in jail. Because words on paper say so. Anyway, that kind of shit pisses me off. Anyway.
What's that saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, this is broke. It needs fixing. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. So, and that's the other thing. And then to the other extreme, Bloomberg.com has an article talking about how Donald Trump's D.C. hotel is tagged with $5 million in unpaid worker liens.
Whoops.
$5 million. So from one extreme to the other, the rich guy's allowed to get away with everything. The people trying to feed the poor are getting arrested.
Way of the world.
It's a great. Yeah, we got to change that.
Yeah.
No, not that. This one. Oh my God.
Wow, I thought I was at Starbucks for a second.
I was like, yeah, what just happened here? Anyway, so a few more stories here, and I'm just rolling them, I'm just rambling them out, but that's, again, Bloomberg. Whatever. You might really enjoy this one. Let me see if I can bring this up to the studio monitor for you, Mr. Will Castro. Let's see. Here we go. This is from digitaltrends.com, and it's called the Rock Block portable record player that drives around your vinyl like an RC race car.
Like an RC race car? I mean, I've seen a van. I don't know about an RC
like
race car.
A little van?
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
It's called Rock Block. And a little bit of the audio here. All right, the audio's up there. There you go. So in saying all of that, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, being a DJ, obviously you wouldn't be able to use that. necessary, would you? Or?
Well, when you're hunting for records, that's actually very useful if you're at like a convention.
Oh,
you know,
could just run it.
Yeah, if you have no idea
smart.
what the record sounds like, having something like that actually helps to kind of preview it, so you're not wasting money on a record that you're probably not going to play.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You really get the sound.
Yeah. Because otherwise we rely on little like old school toy turntables little kids would use.
Yeah.
But that's probably better. It's a little more portable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Well, that's cool. That's good to get your feedback on that.
Yeah.
Uprocks.com. Shower beer has arrived to save us all from dry showers. Apparently now there's a beer that's highly encouraged you drink whilst you are showering.
Fuck out
so
of here.
there you go. Check out that article. Yeah, check out that shit if you want to. Coming up here in Orlando, I found this on Facebook, April 15th, Tater Tots and Beer Festival. Now, I know, that may appeal to some people and not appeal to some people.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that there is a Tater Tots and Beer Festival. That's
You
what
gotta have passion for something in life.
I find that fascinating. A few more here. We'll just close it out. What is it? Hold on. Industrial robot reprogrammed to get bored and curious like a living thing. This is thecreatorsproject.com.
Okay.
Check that out. Another headline here for you is watch these people take acid, then build IKEA furniture. This is on thump.vice.com.
I saw that post.
There you go. I might have stolen that from your post. That's what I do, is I steal people's posts. There you go. And so that's what Breaking News Badly is all about. Let me see. What else do I got? Hold on. Close that out. This is cool. Let's talk about our friends real quick. January 24th. Tickets are available. Go to roomfulofstrangers.bandcamp.com. You can pick up tickets there. The 24th, tickets for The Dead Kennedy.
Oh.
The Dead Kennedys, I said.
Oh, I like that.
The important thing here is you asked me how I got down. All right. Reagan Youth, Room Full of Strangers, and Cold Side. So we play a little bit of Room Full of Strangers here on this show. They're badass. And the fact that they're on this ticket with them, we want to talk about it. Go there, check it out. All right, what else you got? What else? What you got? All right. One more to close it out. This is from collective-evolution.com. And it's a great article. I've read it. I think it's worthy of a read, and I want to mention it. Mm-hmm. And it's simply that neuroscientists discover a song reduces anxiety by 65%.
What particular song? Or any song?
That's what they're saying. Soren Kierkegaard in the 1860s and Sigmund Freud addressed the disorder in 1926. All right, where are you at? Where's the song? Hold on. No. I want the song. Where is it? Here it is.
This one song.
I'm already feeling relaxed. I'm trying to sleep.
Okay. The video's really weird.
I'm feeling the stress just falling off my shoulders.
Okay, well, that totally killed it. All right. Well, I thought it was going to be something more. All right, so let me, hold on.
They're not really dropping the bass, are they?
Can I go to, no, they're really not. I don't know. I don't even want to share that. All right. So, what else do we got? All right, let's bust out of here in a little bit. Close that one out. That's again collective-evolution.com. You got the Patience and Time. You want to check that out? You can.
Yeah. Otherwise, listen to Slayer.
But I think it's interesting. Yeah, what the brain, what your brain does with music. Because it's like with or without. I couldn't imagine a world without music. So
that'd be a nightmare for me.
It would be. So thanks for joining us, hanging with us. Appreciate you, a handful of you guys out there. It's the JB Rev Show. Each week we light it up and interview talented people. Will Castro, thank you so much, man.
Thanks,
you
man.
rock, buddy. I appreciate you coming in here, and we're going to talk about future ventures. Go check out MarsRadioDJ.com and check out what Will's getting into. And Ear Theater, contact Will about doing a set for Ear Theater.
Hey, I'd be about it.
Yeah, you would do a badass set, dude. Anyway, we want to keep in touch with you. because that's what I think is important. Now, did you have any closing sentiments or anything?
I just thought that I kind of left off on a negative note with our talk about the scene here in Orlando. I didn't want to just leave it like that. Now, I did mention that I felt that it could be a lot more than what it is today here, the underground dance music scene.
Right.
However, I do see people who are trying to do their part and trying to contribute to it, and they're passionate about it, and I think there's just a lot of room here to grow from what's here right now. So that makes me feel positive and hopeful for what's going on here. So I just want to say,
we're
in
so
a
you
good
want to
position.
clarify. You just want to kind of clarify, hey,
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave it like it may have sounded.
Yeah.
Because Orlando is a great community, and definitely, having a lot of people that are like-minded and being able to push things forward is amazing. So, again, WJBWnetworks.com, that's where you can go to find out what we are all about, and that's exactly what you experienced tonight. Hashtag Art of the DJ edition. Will Castro, thank you. Mark Hunt, huge thanks to him. Freshly dubbed a local legend of the Reverend. And let's close it out here. A little bit of gratitude for the people that are behind us. PokasHottest.com. Damn fine hot sauce. ShannonHoltArt.com. ArtArmy.org. Everyone is an artist. That's right.
Hey, this is a space disco song, dude.
The modern music movement. Yeah, this is our kitty cat music.
No, but originally, this is a space disco song.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why we like it, maybe. Space disco.
Without the meows.
MarsRadioDJ.com. We might add to the fold. Ear Theater, DJPodcast.blogspot.com. I think that's all I gotta remember. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. 200 episodes next Tuesday. Come join us. Join us digitally. We put an event out there. Join us. We're going to close down and try to calm it down a little bit at the end here. Thanks again.
Yes, trippy. That is actually.
On Long Island, where your mom's from, moon goes
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show.